Our text this week is Lily's Purple Plastic Purse, right? We started that yesterday. Right? Anybody remember? You guys remember? Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. So this week we're focused on asking and answering questions about important details in a text. Right? So that means you have to listen to the story. We're going to talk about the story. And then we're going to answer questions about the story. And today our strategy is retelling. Yesterday we did visualizing. Okay, who remembers what visualizing means from yesterday? Kiarius, you remember? Visualizing, what does it mean? Hands down.
It means
Making a what in your head?
a
Darian.
movie.
A movie. Making a movie in your head while you read the story, right? Because sometimes you might read a book that has no pictures. So you have to imagine what they look like, what they sound like. So you close your eyes and you kind of make a mental movie in your head. All right, so retelling, that's our strategy for today. Retell means to tell it again, right? There's a prefix, retell. If I tell you to replay the movie, I'm telling you to play it again, right? Read means to do it again. So retell means you tell me the story again. Now, do you think you're going to tell me every single word in the entire story? No. What do you think you're going to tell me about the story? Raise your hand. What do you think you're going to tell me? Ethan, what do you think you're going to tell me? The most No, the most important parts of the story, okay, Darian? You're not going to tell me every single word all over again, because that's telling me the entire story. I just want you to retell me the most important parts of the story, right? All right, we're going to watch a quick video on how to retell a story before we read our story. So I need you to pay attention, please.
Hey parents, over here. Let me show you.
How to retell a story.
Okay.
Retell
All right,
means to
your
tell
eyes
the
up
most
here.
important
You
parts
can
of
turn your
the
body
story
around.
from beginning to end. We often retell stories to show that we understood it. Sometimes we retell a story just for fun because we want to tell our friends about it. When you retell a story, you can't retell everything. You only retell the most important parts.
That's what I
So,
said.
what is important? Usually the most important parts are the characters, the setting, and the big events that happen in the story. Have you heard the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears? I'm going to retell it to you. Goldilocks and the Three Bears is a story about a girl named Goldilocks who goes for a walk in the forest. In the beginning, the bears left their house to go for a walk while their porridge cooled. Next, Goldilocks came to their house and she ate their porridge, sat in their chairs, and then fell asleep in one of their beds. In the end, the bears came home and scared Goldilocks. She jumped out of bed and ran away. My retelling included the characters, the setting.
Okay, so what do we retell? Raise your hand. Anybody know? What do you retell? If I ask you to retell me the story, what do I want to know, Gunner? The important parts, okay? So the characters, maybe the main problem that happened or main events that happened in the story, where the story is taking place, just the important stuff, okay? So retelling is about the main events, the character, setting, okay? Not every little word, okay? You don't want to know every single detail, right? The main important details, the most important ones, right?
And the most important events from the beginning, middle, and end. Now you can practice retelling a story on your own. Thanks for watching. Check out other reading videos on the Teaching Without Frills YouTube
Okay.
channel.
So retelling means telling the most. All right, hold on, you guys, wake up. Retelling is telling the most.
Hey.
Important. Everybody say it. Important.
Important.
The most important parts of the story. The characters, setting, main events. Okay, this week we're working on Lily's purple plastic purse. Okay, this is Lily, right? Right? Yes.
Yeah.
She's a little mouse. Yes, Royce?
I didn't be here yesterday.
I know. That's why we're going to read the story every day, because some people were not here, some people won't be here today, but they'll be here tomorrow.
I was sick.
All right, it's okay. Okay. Here's Lily. Lily loved school. So here she is walking to school. She's loving school, right? She's got her fancy boots on. She loved the pointy pencils. She loved the squeaky chalk. And she loved the way her boots went clickety-click-click down the long, shiny hallway. So she's got these cool red boots with little stars on them. And she likes the squeaky chalk that makes your ears go, ooh. Good morning, Cameron.
Good morning.
Quickly go unpack and get your
I
computer,
got
okay?
ice cream money.
Okay, well go get your computer and then come eat. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. There on your bottom. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom. And most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger, right? She loved him. And she loves those fish sticks at school. Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. Do you think he was literally sharp?
No.
No, right? She probably just means he dressed nice, he was smart. Ava, leave. He wore artistic shirts, he wore glasses on a chain around his neck, and he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. So she's saying he's as sharp as a tack. Dresses nice, he wears a different tie for every day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just about all she could say was, wow. Instead of greetings, students, or good morning, pupils. Remember yesterday we talked about pupils. It's just another word for students, right? You guys are my pupils. Mr. Slinger winked and said, howdy. So he was like, howdy. That's silly. He thought that desks and rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? Who remembers what the word rodents means? Eden Gibbs, do you remember what rodents mean? Ainsley? Rats, right? Rodents is just another word for rats or mice or a mouse. And he always provided the most tasty snacks. Things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor. So in the beginning, they all want to be teachers, right? Everybody wants to be a teacher. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother Julius. Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. So this is a dictionary, but they're similar, right? So she wanted her own, right? Just like a teacher. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva, said her father. Who remembers what's a diva?
It's a pretty.
Ella, thank you for raising your hand. What's a diva?
It's like a pretty.
You're like a princess, like you're fancy, right?
Like a ballerina.
Like a ballerina, okay? It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. And permitted means you are allowed, right? You're allowed to do something. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing. Lily went often. She had a lot of ideas, just like you guys. You guys have tons of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Go get some Duramax, Darian.
Wow.
Wow. So here's her nice picture of him. She drew a picture of him and it says, "Big, friendly Mr. Nice Man Teacher." By me, Lily. Lily, are you going to draw me a picture like that? And then her story says, "And at the very last second, Mr. Slinger saved the cold, starving elderly." That's a really dramatic story, right? Starving people? Ooh. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in class, even if she didn't know the answer. She volunteered to stay after school to clap erasers, because remember they had chalk, so back then you had to clap them to get the chalk dust out so that you could keep erasing. "I want to be a teacher when I grow up," said Lily. "Excellent choice," said Mr. Slinger. One Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her Grammy over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star sunglasses to complete her diva look, you know. Complete with glittery diamonds and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. So she got that fancy chain around her neck to carry her glasses. She had 3 shiny quarters. And best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when it was opened. So every time you would open it, it would make sing a song, right? And play a song. Lily wanted to show everyone. "Not now," said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. "Not now," said Mr. Slinger. "Let's be considerate of our classmates." That means be respectful, right? Remember we talked about yesterday that there's a time and a place for everything, right? Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really, really wanted to show everyone. "Not now," said Mr. Slinger. Get on the floor, please. Wait until recess or sharing time. But Lily could not wait. She really, really wanted to share. The glasses were so glittery, the quarters were so shiny, and the purse played such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. "Look," Lily whispered fiercely. "Look, everyone, look what I've got." And everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. You think he was happy?
No.
No, because she's interrupting, right? You told her to wait, and she's not waiting. He was not amused. Amused means he did not find it funny. He did not think it was funny. "I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day," said Mr. Slinger. "They'll be safe there, and then you can take them home." Okay? So he put them in his desk, and he's going to give them back later.
Like me.
Lily's stomach lurched, so she's starting to get that sick feeling, like all squirmy. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone, her quarters were gone, her purple plastic purse was gone. Lily longed for her purse all morning. She was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. She was very upset and sad that he had taken her things away until the end of the day. But was he going to give them back?
Yes.
Yes, right? I'll wait for you, Darian. Put it on the floor. That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad. Kiara, put your mask on. She thought and she thought and she thought, and then she became angry. She thought and she thought and she thought some more, and then she became furious. Furious means super angry. Right? Now, the more she's thinking about it, the angrier she's getting. She thought and she thought and she thought a bit longer, and then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. Do you think it's going to be a nice picture, Ethan?
No.
If she's becoming more and more angry, the more she thinks about it, it's probably not going to be a nice picture, right? You can look at her face and she's getting so angry. And here's her picture. It says, "Big, fat mean, Mr. Stealing teacher. She called him a thief, wanted by the FBI, and it says at the bottom, P.S. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up. So she is very, very upset, right? Right before the last bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing into Mr. Slinger's book bag. So she drew this horrible, mean picture of him, and then she went and put it in his bag. You think he's going to be happy or sad, Ethan? Sad, right? That's not a nice thing to do, right? When all the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her her purple plastic purse back. It's a beautiful purse, said Mr. Slinger. Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class. So he says you can bring it back, but it cannot become a distraction. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up, Lily said as she marched out of the classroom. So she's still angry and like marching away all mad. Right? She's very angry. On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." And there was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of her purse. So not only did he give it back to her at the end of the day like he said he would, he put a nice note in there, and he also gave her a little bag of snacks, like treats, okay? Pull your mask up, okay? Royce Ainsley. Was that nice of him?
No.
Yes. He put a nice note in her purse, gave her a little snack, and said tomorrow's going to be a better day, right?
Yeah.
We all have difficult days, right?
Yeah.
I know I do. And then we always remind ourselves tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's going to be better. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Why do you think she felt bad now? Ella, why do you think she felt bad now? Yeah, she gave him a mean note, and then she found out he wrote her a nice note and a snack, Isaiah. So that made her feel bad, right? You feel guilty, kind of. There you sit in your seat. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. And you can see she's running, and she has tears running down her face because she feels bad. Because she wrote such a mean note, and he wrote her a nice one. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to sit in the uncooperative chair, kind of like a timeout chair. I'll stay here a million years for Mr. Slinger. Why does everything always happen to me? But it didn't really happen to her. She kind of brought it on herself, right? 1051, 1052, then she skips to 1099. So she sat there and counted all the way up to 1099. That's a long time. That night, Lily drew a new picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him too. Do you think this was going to be a nice picture and story or a mean one, Ethan?
A nice.
Ethan? I know, me too. So she felt bad, right, for making a mean note about him. So do you think this one's going to be nice or mean? The new one.
Nice.
It's probably going to be nice, right?
See?
It says Lily was really, really sorry, so everyone forgave her, even her parents, even her stinky baby brother, even her especially incredible teacher. And then the sun shined its smiling face down on everyone and everything, even the bugs and worms. The end. And then it's a nice picture saying, I forgive everyone. And Lily says, I'm really, 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 really sorry. Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father baked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. I think Mr. Slinger will understand, said Lily's mother. I know he will, said Lily's father. And he baked his cheese snacks, right? The next morning, Lily got to school early. These are for you, Lily said to Mr. Slinger, because I'm really, 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 really sorry. And there she goes, giving him his snacks and his treats and his note and his picture. Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture. think he's going to be happy? Probably, right? And he read the note, and he sampled the snacks. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Yarius, wake up. What do you think we should do with this? Asked Mr. Slinger, talking about the mean note. What do you think we should do with this? Could we just throw it away? Asked Lily. Excellent idea, said Mr. Slinger. During sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star sunglasses. So she finally was able to share her stuff that she brought during sharing time. Then she did a little performance using them as props. So she used her purse and her glasses and her chain and her quarters, and she used it all as props. It's called interpretive dance, said Lily. Mr. Slinger even joined in. Wow, said the entire class. That was just about all they could say. Wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. So she would check on them, but she wouldn't mess with it. She left it till the end of the day. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily's snacks to everyone's delight, which means they were all happy about these snacks, these cheese balls. What do you want to be when you grow up? Asked Mr. Slinger. A teacher, everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. As the pupils, or the students, filed out of the classroom, Ella, leave your hair alone. Lily held her purple plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Remember, he told her tomorrow will be better. Today was difficult, but tomorrow will be better. Lily ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home. She was so happy. Do you think she literally flew? No, right? She probably just ran so fast because she was excited that it seemed like she was flying. Yeah. That is, so she wanted to be a teacher, and she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer, or a surgeon, or an ambulance driver, or a diva, or a pilot, or a hairdresser, or a scuba diver. She wanted to be all these different things, but she still wanted to be a teacher, right? All right. So, when we talk about retelling, we're going to retell the what? Everything?
No.
Darian, are we going to retell everything? No. We're going to retell the what stuff? Isaiah, what kind of stuff are we going to retell? Only the most important. Darian. Can we start cleaning up, please? Hey, so somebody, retell me the story. What was the most important stuff? Who was the character, Lily? Who's the main character in the story? Who's the main character? Who's the story mostly about? Lily, right? Lily's the main character. Who's the other character in the story? Or another character? One more, Gunner. Mr. Slinger. And then there's her parents and her little brother. But those aren't the main characters, right? The main character is Lily. And like the second main one would be Mr. Slinger, her teacher. So what was the story mostly about, Willow? A plastic purse? What about it? She really wanted to share it? Okay, what else happened in the story, Ethan? Okay, I know that's down. I put it there. But tell me what happened in the story. She had a purple plastic purse, and what happened? Did she get it taken away? Yes. Why did she get it taken away, Ethan? She was sharing it when it wasn't sharing time, right? She was disrupting the others. And what did Mr. Slinger do with it? Where did he put it? In his desk. And he said he's going to give it back, right? And did he give it back? Yeah, but before he had given it back, she was so angry, right? And she put what in his backpack? What did she put in his book bag, Eden O? A mean note. And then she found out that he did what, Royce? That's to be put. Yeah. She made him a mean note, and then he gave her a nice note, and she felt what? Sad, right? She felt kind of guilty because she had done something mean and he had done something nice. Cameron, come sit down. Royce, put that up. Hands down for a minute. All right, what happened at the end of the story, Ava? Ethan, he gave what? Oh, she used the music from her purse to do her little interpretive dance at the end, right? So he did finally let her share and show the whole class all of her things, and she did her interpretive dance and all that. And did she still want to be a teacher at the end, Kiaris? Yes, right? She learned that there's a time and a place for everything, and you have to be considerate of others and not play and disrupt the class when the teacher's teaching, right, Darian? All right, so we're going to do our little quick retell. Retell means to tell it again. But you're not going to tell me the whole story over again, right? You're only going to tell me the most important parts. So I have these. You need to take out your reading journal. Go quickly, Harper. Yeah. The one that starts with the letter R. Go quickly, Harper. Okay? Stop. Good, Kiarius. The reading one. It starts with the letter R. Now, it starts with the letter R. Reading, good. Good. I'm going to give you this. You don't need to write on it. Ethan, take out your reading journal. You will need, listen, you will need to turn to a blank page. The very second page should be your blank page. You're going to need your scissors and a glue stick. Everyone should have these things. Now, I'm going to do this up here, and you're going to do it at your seat. All right, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares and a rectangle to cut out. So you should have 7 pieces of paper cut out. I'm going to do mine up here under the camera so that we can do it together. If you'll give me a second, I'll show you how to put it out. I'm not going to show you again to stop. Remember, you're working for your tickets at the end of the day. Okay, you have this paper, right? Everyone looks like this, right? You're gonna wait for me to show you. You're gonna cut along the dotted lines. Wait for me. Do not start cutting yet. Camry, wait for me. Ethan, I can see her. We don't tattle sound. Okay, you're gonna cut it out to look like that. So cut the edges.
Wow. That's cool.
And then you're gonna cut
The paper? I got my suit.
Then you're going to cut out the squares. Do not cut the words in half, okay? So you should have all of these little squares, and then you should have this cut out. Everybody see that? So cut this part out like this. Do not cut these words in half. And then you should have all of these little squares right here. All right, these are our pictures that we're going to use to retell the story.